So the federal government has officially cancelled the 8,000 naira palliative. And what they intend to do with the 500 billion is that one, they want to invest 100 billion naira in 3,000 CNG powered vehicles or buses, which will be 20-seater. We'll talk about that later. And also, they want to invest 200 billion naira in agriculture, making 300 billion. And they also want to invest 75 billion in manufacturing enterprises, and the remaining 125 billion will be invested into SMEs and startups. And this is a very good idea. It's really impressive because if you look at the way they have allocated those investments, it's into our key industries in Nigeria. One, they looked at transportation, they looked at agriculture and the real sector by investing in 75 manufacturing enterprises as well as a lot of SMEs and startups. Looking at the first one, which is the investment they want to do in transportation, I think this is highly impressive, especially with the fact that the investment is not going to be given for free. What they will do is that they want to acquire 3,000 buses and they will give it to major transportation companies. This is good. And again, these buses, those transportation companies are required to pay it back. Therefore, you will find out that it will be the player in the transport sector that will key into it because it's not free, they will pay back. So, inherently, this will definitely increase our GDP and it will contribute positively to the transportation sector. Moreover, is that these transports or these buses will be CNG powered. Therefore, they are doing away with fossil fuel. So the buses will not use either diesel or petrol. What the buses will use is majorly compressed natural gas. So it has the potential of reducing, it will ease transportation costs to a large extent. To a large extent. So it's good. But what the government need to ensure they do is that these buses must not be imported. These buses must be manufactured in-house because 3,000 units is a manufacturing capacity itself. So they have to give it to a local manufacturer to get it ready. And that is when we will feel the real impact. And again, this is impressive and it should not be one-off. It's something government must continually do and continually initiate. So it's good. The second part, which is the 200 billion in agriculture. So their plan is that they want to cultivate 150,000 hectares of maize and rice. And also they want to also cultivate 100,000 hectares of wheat and cassava. It's impressive, it's huge, it is huge. But as it is today, our problem in Nigeria is not, as far as agriculture is concerned, it's not a problem of increasing our farm area, but rather the challenge we have is productivity and yield. That's the challenge. There was a research conducted in 2021, and it saw that for maize, for example, now our output per hectare for maize in Nigeria is 1.7 tons per hectare. And if you look at a country like South Africa, South Africa is doing almost 4 tons per hectare. If you go to North America, those guys are doing 10 tons per hectare. And the only reason for this is because our farmers are using the wrong seedling. Only 10% of our farmers are using, they called it hybrid variety seed. IITA said that if 50% of our farmers start using this hybrid variety seed, at least for maize, they said we will double our maize production. We will double it in such a way that we will start producing more than we need in the country, that will not have surplus to export. So I think that they need to refocus and rechannel these aspects. They should not increase the cultivation area yet. Rather, they should look at or carry out research into what is our need in agriculture. They should establish the need and invest in that area. Imagine enabling almost 80% of farmers to start using the right seed for maize. Look at what will happen to our productivity. And again, the issue of insecurity, they need to invest in that. Again, is the issue of our storage and distribution. Storage alone is one of the reasons why there is a lot of wastages. And distribution channel is also not so efficient. So the government has to find a way to ensure that we can easily distribute from farm to the market. If you look at the 75 billion they want to give to or invest in 75 manufacturing enterprises, I think this is a right thinking in the right direction, because one of the bane to development of the manufacturing industry in Nigeria is access to cheap capital. So when they say that they want to give them each of those 75 enterprises, they want to give them 1 billion naira each. And they will pay back though at 9% over a period of 60 months. That's approximately 5 years. I think this is cheap capital to a large extent. And for the fact that they know that they will pay back, definitely they would plow it in a very viable manner. So this is good. This is good because we will start seeing developments or things will start changing in the manufacturing industry. When an entity has 1 billion naira, there's a lot of things they can do with it. They can buy equipment, they can resuscitate some product lines that they have left before. A lot of things will happen. So we this is good. It will increase our GDP, and the government will start taxing economic activity rather than poverty. So this is extremely okay. There's nothing wrong with this. And the final one is the 125 billion they want to give to SMEs and startups. So the split of this 125 billion is that 50 billion of it they would invest into nano small businesses, 1 million of them in all the local governments in Nigeria. Well, we don't know how they want to do this because they said that they want to give them a conditional grant. We are waiting to hear what the conditions will be, and we hope this will not be an opportunity to pay back political loyalists. It should not be that case. If this is well implemented, it's good, because when we say nano small businesses, that means we are talking about a woman selling rice on the roadside. If somebody like that gets 50,000, she might either buy a new maybe gas cooker or any other equipment that can enhance her business, or let's say a cobbler. 50,000, yes, can go a long way, even though it's small, but at least it's something, and it's a grant. They won't pay back. The thing is, if this is properly channeled and given to the right people, we would tend to see some improvements. One, on the supply side, because we are giving it to businesses, and it will one way or the other enhance their capacity. So we hope this is properly implemented, and let's see what the results will be. And the remaining 75 billion will be given to SMEs. So they plan to give it to 100,000 SMEs. Those ones are expected to pay back. If you do the divide, that's around 750,000 per SMEs. Again, this is also good. 750,000 can go a long way for an SME. They can use it to enhance their capacity. So we don't have so much comment on this now. Let's see how the government will implement it. But one would expect that the government will carry on an extensive research so that we'll be giving this money to people that needs it. But I think that since they are going to pay back, definitely it should end up with people that actually need it. And a government must ensure that this money are collected back. Because when it is collected, if they're able to pay, it means they have plowed it in the right way, and they have enhanced our GDP. So, I mean, this is good. This is a right step in the right direction. And ultimately, we will start seeing growth in our tax revenue. Because these 1 million nano small businesses that they are giving 50,000 naira each to, the 100,000 SMEs that might be getting 750,000, though the government said between 500 and 1 million, all of them will now be in the tax net. So most of you that want to apply know that you will now be captured in the government tax net. Ultimately, the government would wait for you and hope that you progress. And from your progress, you will pay tax. It's good. It's good. And of course, these businesses would be willing to pay. They will have no reason to evade, since they know that one of the reasons for their progress is because government has funded them. And ultimately is this. This should not be a one-off activity. This is the starting point for the Tinubu government. I think it's something they have to review almost periodically. It is not something you do and dump. After the close of the execution of this in March 2024, I think another round must be done. The savings from subsidy, these are part of the areas the government must continually pump this money into, and we would see tremendous progress in our GDP. There will be reduction in inflation, our exchange rate will strengthen, and a lot of positive things will happen in the economy. I hope you have learned one or two from this, and I hope the government also listen to this. Thank you very much.